Hi, and welcome to the Drama Club. On this week's episode in our hot topic, we back and we missed you, baby. We talk about Sex and the City 3. We talk about Lena Dunham. We talk about Kim Kardashian and more. And then in our main topic, Steph's got Oscar Pistorius, aka the Blade Runner, aka the Murderer, on this week's Drama Club.
What up, fam? What up, fam? It's good, y'all. Feels good, right? Good, right? Yeah, I know it, dude. And without further ado, we broadcasting live from CA to NY.
Lena Dunham.
What did she say?
She had a profile was written about her in some magazine, in The Cut, and actually you should read it before we talk about it because it's something.
What do they say?
It's like it talks about her whole life. Like, why does everybody hate her? Like the writer is she's black. She's like young, a young black girl, and she really, you know how some people, how especially white people are very like forgiving of her, you know, like
Yeah.
she's not like that at all. She's like
Okay.
so she's kind of like, you know, why do you think people hate you?
She interviews her?
Yeah, it's like a long profile, like they talk over months, and Lena's going through something because, you know, she has like endometriosis.
She's
and, like,
very sick.
yeah, and like she's, you know, it's a really well written article, like whatever you think of Lena, but
Yeah.
it's something.
I will read it. I actually I don't like Lena Dunham, and she always puts her fucking foot in her mouth, but
Yeah.
I appreciate her because she's like such a train wreck.
Well, I think I don't like her, but I also don't dislike her to the extent that it seems.
Some people do.
Yeah.
Me too. You know what else there is something I do like about her is she like is hella body positive about herself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck yeah, girl. Like,
Yeah.
but sometimes to a fault, like sometimes she be doing shit that's extra.
It's attention seeking. you know?
Yeah. It's just like all her character. Like she reminds me of
Right.
every one of her fucking characters in Girls who I fucking hated all at once.
And
also,
that's one of the major themes of the article, and Lena says this about herself. She says that a lot of people like to tell me about my work since my first movie, which actually I did like her first movie when it came out.
Tiny Furniture.
Yeah. She said something like every review I would get would be people would say like, oh, this is a great film, but I hate that main character, or I like, and without realizing that it was her and it was based off of her, and you know, it's her. And she says basically everything I've done in my life has been some sort of extension of that.
Well, I actually saw in the news this week about her where she had a falling out with Lord because Lord is rumored
Yes.
to be dating Jack Antonoff.
Yes, not anymore, but at the time.
But she was, like right after they broke up, which
Right.
that is a bad look. You do not date your girl's ex.
That's a major part of the article too, and
That's a major key.
it sent me into this internet hole where apparently last year there was a PowerPoint presentation that went viral.
yeah.
I missed
Yeah,
that.
like confirmed like
Yes.
her relationship with Jack Antonoff, Lords, right?
Yes, so I
Yeah.
found it. it.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of it before,
I
and I
fucking
was
love
like,
the internet.
and I read that stupid PowerPoint presentation. I was like, damn. This bitch
sucked.
like did like a whole ass dissertation about how Jack was cheating on Lena with Lord, and like why like this song is about that, and like
We need to have that girl as an intern on the drama club.
oh yeah, you know, she might take over, dude.
Yeah. She's coming for us, fucking bitch.
And it brought like Taylor Swift, because you know Taylor Swift was friends with
She's always
them.
around. Yeah. That's their little crew of annoying girls.
Yep.
That's funny. The other big news this week, I guess, was that Kim Kardashian says she was on ecstasy the first time she got married and the first time she made a sex tape with Ray J.
Weren't we all?
I was definitely high on ecstasy during my wedding.
Yeah, I thought that was funny because
She's like super straight edge.
yeah, but
She's like really straight edge. Like she doesn't even drink and stuff. So
But
I can't imagine her. Like,
everyone has a youth, though. You know,
Yeah.
I have to say, I've done ecstasy like 2 or 3 times, and it's not like that's not fun to me.
All right.
This shit is not fun. I don't know how you people out there do that shit.
People love that shit.
Yeah,
People like hella love that shit. How was your Thanksgiving, man?
good. How was yours?
Good.
And that's the tea on Thanksgiving.
And that's the drama club.
I miss everyone. Like, it's weird not interacting with people now, even though, like, that wasn't a part of my personality before we started the drama club.
But it's weird not to like talk to people on Instagram and stuff, Twitter.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool today. Everybody was pretty pumped that we had an episode coming out.
We back, baby.
Because he's proving something that happens all the time. He's proving that you can overcome a handicap so completely that you climb right to the top.
So basically, the tea came out that the Sex and the City 3 movie, which is like not going to happen, part of the reason they couldn't get Samantha to sign on was because she didn't like the plot, which I guess centered around Mr. Big being killed off.
Yeah, which I am here for.
Which I hate when shows and movies or like series get to that point where they start killing people off in order to make drama.
Because that's not a plot point. That's
not. It's you're being fucking lazy.
Yeah.
You're not creative. Just end the fucking show.
I've been watching a lot of Sex and the City lately.
Oh, cool.
But I'll get furious because you guys might not, I don't know, you might have picked it up about us, but we're like super fans. Like, like super duper fans.
Yeah. That might be like the first show I ever was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Is this what TV is?
Yeah. And so I was watching, I've been catching episodes on E like late night, and I just get furious. I'm like, they cut out like 10 minutes in the middle of this episode, and then I'll be ready to like say a line with the character, and then they don't say it, and it's not even like there's not even cursing or like it's
no, that's not how Sex and the City is supposed to be watched.
So then I keep doing this. I'll be like 7 minutes into an episode and be like, fuck this, and turn on HBO Go and watch it. Like
that's way better.
But last night
you get it in HD.
Last night they had the ships, the Ahoy. Wait, what is that called? That episode called Season 5,
Ships
episode
Away?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had. That's one of my favorite ones.
I can't believe we knew. Yeah, that episode is so good.
Yeah, and then I looked up. Oh, plot twist! I looked up the hot guy from that episode.
Yeah, the sailor.
The sailor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what's up with this dude?
He's really cute.
So cute. Looked him up. 9/11 truther.
Shut up, May.
It's on his Wikipedia and everything. Like, it's not even like I didn't have to look deep for that shit.
Oh my God.
He narrated one. Do you remember those weird 9/11 documentaries, Loose Change?
Yes. That was like the big one, right?
He narrated it.
Oh my gosh. I hate that conspiracy theory shit.
Ooh, speaking of conspiracy theories shit, I caught yesterday a thing on TV about Brittany Murphy.
Ooh.
And they kind of like, they did explain the conspiracy theory about that one like border patrol agent or whatever.
Oh, they did? What did they say?
That she was friends, or she had known Brittany's dad at some point, and
oh, that's sketchy.
And that's how she knew Brittany. Like they were she was like a slight family friend or something. And so she was going to Brittany was going to be like one of the many, many witnesses to testify on her behalf, like saying, oh, like I've known her for X amount of years. It was going to be like a 10-minute testimony type thing.
Yeah.
Like, and I can vouch for her being sane or normal or whatever.
Oh, great. Well,
so that was like how she knew her.
Case dismissed, Your Honor.
But I've come to realize, like, do you think maybe, because the show was an autopsy type thing, so it went over her autopsy like line by line, and they said that she didn't have a heart murmur, but
her mom
told her that,
but that wasn't like ever confirmed or anything,
right? So like she didn't have a heart murmur. Her mom told her that. You think maybe her mom had like some sort of Munchausen's by proxy thing?
Shut up, May. Oh my God.
Would always tell her like, oh, you're sick, and like, and she did have like, she tended to have heavy periods, like really, like debilitate, like Lena. Like, and she would take a lot of medication for that. You think maybe her mom would be like, oh, you're sick, and then like thinking
maybe,
like,
because she's like an only child and like single mom raising her. I could totally see that happening. It makes absolute sense.
And her mom was sick too, so maybe like that day that she was really sick, maybe she was just like, oh, this is just another one of those things that I'm
gonna go through.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, like that makes perfect sense to me.
Just throwing shit out there.
I know, no, that's crazy for real. Wow. R.I.P. Brittany Murphy once again.
Yeah, forever. We got a lot of hot topics today.
Yeah.
So anyway, hello guys, my name is May.
And my name is Stephanie.
And this is The Drama Club.
The Drama Club. We back.
We back, baby. This is the podcast about being back.
Celebrity scandals.
Celebrity deaths. Gossip.
Drama for your mama.
Thanksgiving.
Sex in the City and etc. This is a drama about etc.
This is the drama about the ...
This is the rhythm of the night. Oh yeah. Oh,
anyway, it feels good to be back.
Obviously.
We miss you guys. We miss each other.
Yeah. Here's a story to bum your ass out. Did you see You're Gonna Die Alone commented on the post? This guy, You're Gonna Die Alone. You are. Who the fuck is going to date Oscar Pistorius after this shit?
Some bitches.
Yeah, he's fine.
Isn't one of the Menendez brothers married?
Oh my God, I love the Menendez brothers story. We gotta do that one.
Oh yeah. We're doing that one for sure.
Every couple of years, someone will do like a fucking deep dive expose on the Menendez story, and I'll watch that shit.
Yeah, me too. I even watched the Lifetime movie with Courtney Love.
Yes.
Never in my life did I think that Courtney Love would play Kitty Menendez, but here we are.
The role she was made for. Fuck.
I want her to get her shit together because she's not a bad actress.
Me too, and she looks good when she's put together. Mm-hmm. She could be real cool if she got it together.
That's like the story of my life too.
Once I get it together, it's over for you bitches. Once Courtney Love gets together, it's over for all of us, guys.
Look out, Amy Adams.
I'm the star of the next 12 movies coming out.
But I said something about a handicap, didn't I?
Oh, Cher. I never talked to you about Cher and the concert.
Oh, I know. Okay.
She looked amazing. Her body's crazy. She looks like the same as when she was young.
Love her.
Yeah, it was awesome.
How long was the show?
Probably like an hour and a half.
Okay, dope.
All her outfits were wild. Like, it was just everything that she had worn in the music videos and stuff.
Yeah, like the turn back time leather jacket.
Yep, like in the Believe video, the red wig with the sparkly outfit. Yeah, everything. And then when she did a 70s flashback, she wore bell bottoms and like a fur vest. She looked amazing.
Did she sing that song that's like, am I strong enough to live without you? I love that song.
Yeah. And she sang a bunch from Mamma Mia, actually.
Oh.
I hadn't really thought about it, but since she was in the last one.
Yeah. And also her new album is all ABBA covers.
Yeah. So she sang a few ABBA covers.
That's cool.
Oh, she had like a video projection showing a bunch of stuff, like depending on like the decade she was working on. Mm-hmm. And it was really sweet. She showed even like when she won her Oscar.
Hell yeah. I just watched the video of her winning her Oscar like a couple days ago.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's awesome seeing Meryl, like you said.
Yeah.
She just like fucking freaks out.
And then at the end, she even thanks Meryl. She's like, I'd like to, she uses her full name. She's like, Meryl Lynn Streep or whatever. And then she's like, I was in my first movie with you. And now look at me here beside you winning my first Oscar or something. Aww. And it's like really sweet.
That's super sweet. Yeah, that was it basically.
Yes, Bill had a handicap. That handicap was fear.
All right, then. Cheerio.
Hey, do you want to see Mary Poppins?
Yes. When does it come out?
I don't know. It seems like I don't fuck with Emily Blunt.
I know, but that's a personal thing.
Yeah.
I saw that new Johnny Depp movie is doing fucking bad, I guess. People hate it.
The Harry Potter thing?
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
You done.
Goodbye.
You did. I keep saying, like, I should go watch Bohemian Rhapsody, but I just can't fucking motivate myself.
You know what I want to see? Have you seen commercials for that? It's like Russell Crowe and Nicole Kidman, and it's called Boy Erased.
No.
And it's about a guy, like a teenage boy who his parents, they play his parents, send him to like a gay conversion therapy type thing.
Oh, wow.
It looks good as fuck.
Yeah. I'd probably be way more motivated to go watch that. All right. I got a topic for you today, May.
Okay, I am so ready.
Today I have the story of Oscar Pistorius, aka the Blade Runner.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
This one's sad, and like I remember I had wanted to do it a long time ago, but then like I don't know, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
And last week you did a murder, so now or maybe a murder, we don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Same. This is also like a questionable murder from a guy who is likable, like outside of this.
Ooh. Okay. Oh, I just remembered something about a murder.
Oh, okay.
An update on Natalie Wood from that podcast that ended. They said something very interesting.
What?
They said that when they recovered her body, her bladder was full. And
what?
And when you drown, you automatically void your bladder. That happens in 99.9% of cases of drowning. You void your bladder. And when they pulled her body out of the water, her bladder was full. So guess what? She didn't drown.
Oh, fuck.
So she was
scary.
either unconscious already when she went into the water or dead already.
Wow. Fuck that.
Yep.
Ooh. Okay.
And
Spooky.
now for the Blade Runner.
Okay. For this topic, all the Wikipedias, as always.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Vanity Fair article about the murder of Reva Steenkamp, which is really sad.
Mm-hmm.
People magazine, and then I watched the Amazon Prime documentary Pistorius. It's a 4-part documentary. It's really good, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I'm going to watch that this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Oscar Leonard Carl Pistorius was born on November 22nd, 1986 in Johannesburg, the Gauteng province of South Africa.
South Africa.
His family was very Christian, and he has an older brother and younger sister, so he's a middle baby.
Mm-hmm.
When Oscar was born, the doctors knew immediately that there was something wrong with him. He was born with only 2 toes on each foot, and after several testing, they found that he had fibular hemimelia, which is the absence of the fibula in both legs. So he wasn't going to be able to walk. They knew that he would never walk. And most doctors believe that he was going to have to be wheelchair bound for his entire life.
Okay. I'm sorry, what year was he born?
1986. He's Coda's age.
Yeah.
Howell's age.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. 2 years older than us. So all of his initial pediatricians wanted to amputate his entire legs. But Oscar's parents were not having that. They were like, no, like there has to be a way to salvage part of his limbs. You know?
So you mean like above the knee is what they wanted to do?
Above the knee, like a full leg amputation.
Okay.
So Oscar's parents kept getting second opinions until finally a specialist thought that he should be able to keep more than half of his legs.
Mm-hmm.
So when Oscar was 11 months old, his legs were amputated halfway between his knees and ankles.
Okay. And, actually, I read a book recently where they made the point that a lot of doctors now, they want to save as much as possible. But sometimes that's not the best option just because a lot of the prosthetics that we have right now just fit better. Like the more you take, for instance, like if you hurt your foot or something and you want your foot amputated or you need your foot amputated, nobody wants their foot amputated.
Right.
Unless
you a freak. Unless you that one guy from Better Call Saul.
Who cut his arm off, yeah. Like, you could potentially, let's say amputate at the ankle, but there are no good prosthetics at the ankle, so you'll be better off if you do above the ankle, like a Pistorius amputation.
Totally. I actually have a case where a guy had, like, half of his foot amputated because a forklift ran over, like, the 3 of his toes.
Oh, fuck.
And so they were so fucked, they only amputated like a partial area of his foot.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
But it's fucking hard to get prosthetics for him.
Yeah.
Because they have to be specially made and stuff. It's super expensive.
Fun fact, I know how to drive a forklift.
You're a multi-dimensional-ass bitch, man. Put that shit on your resume.
Show. I'm doing it at a pageant if I'm ever like on Miss America.
That's my special talent. Set up aisles and shit. Move stuff. That's amazing. Okay, so Oscar's family was comfortable, upper middle class white family in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Just to paint a picture in your head. So even though Oscar was born during apartheid, his family never suffered like most of South Africa.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Oscar has an uncle who is extremely wealthy, like Pistorius company.
Mm-hmm.
There's a company that's like Pistorius, and they handle like lime transportation or some shit out of South Africa. I don't know, something weird. But his uncle is like fucking baller.
Yeah. That sounds
so
rich
Oscar
as
had
fuck.
money, right? Yeah, like that little like random wealth making business. Anyways, okay. So against the odds, Oscar excelled in terms of athletically. And just, I guess, physically. So at 14 months, Oscar began walking with the help of initial handmade prosthetics. And remember, doctors thought he would never walk.
Mm-hmm.
His parents didn't overprotect him and let him fall and get into trouble and rough around with his brother and sister. They tried to make sure that he was treated the same as his brother and sister.
That's what you got to do.
You have to. That's what Oscar's talk. There's an interview where he's talking about how, like, I know that I'm different, but like my parents never treated me different. Like for when we would get ready for school, they would be like Oscar's brother, put on your shoes. Oscar, put on your legs. Like, you know, like they were just like, it was just like normal shit.
Mm-hmm.
So he also was kind of like a troublemaker when he was younger. He would take his legs off in public to shock people because he was so active. Nobody ever knew that he had prosthetics.
Yeah.
And his brother talks about how they would get on street bikes together. Like the two of them would mount street bikes and they'd go down hills. And then to stop the bike, Oscar would jam his prosthetics into the ground. And so his parents were like constantly having to buy him new prosthetics because he would fuck around so much. No,
that sounds dangerous too.
Yeah. So he was super free-spirited and like mischievous young boy. Then when Oscar was around 10 years old, his father left his mother. So his single mother raised the 3 children on her own from there on out, primarily. Yeah. And South Africa is a very crime-ridden place. So they did have several break-ins in their house after Oscar's father left. Mm-hmm. And so Oscar says he and his brother always felt very protective and they had guns in their house. Most of South Africa, actually, if you watch the Pistorius documentary, they show how common break-ins are and how like they have like several footage, like people like sleep with guns under their pillow and stuff. Because it's like, yeah, people that do break-ins, they always have weapons. So if you're gonna protect yourself, you have it like at hand's length because it's something that happens so often.
So they're like us in terms of like having a lot of guns per people. Like it's part of their culture, gun culture. There is a gun culture in South Africa.
I would say maybe more because the videos they show are wild. Like people are like chilling. And then someone breaks into their house and they have a gun like fucking ready to go. Yeah. Like they're prepared for this.
Okay.
Because it happens so often. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then after, like I said, Oscar had that one ballin' uncle who stepped up and took financial responsibility for their family after his dad left. Mm-hmm. So Oscar played rugby, water polo, tennis, all while he was in primary school.
Cool.
Then in high school, he started playing Olympic wrestling. And his wrestling gym owner said it took him 6 months to realize that Oscar had no legs because he participated in everything from running to skipping to push-ups to swimming, fucking everything. He did everything. Mm-hmm. Then in 2002, Oscar was picked up from class one day by his father, unexpectedly given the news that his mother had fallen ill and was hospitalized. His mother had been on medication for a very long time and had slowly developed some sort of an allergy to something that she was taking. Uh-huh. So they took her off that medication, but the liver damage that she had suffered was unrepairable.
Oh, fuck.
And there was a lot of hope between everybody that she would survive, but sadly she passed away very suddenly.
And that was when he was how old?
2002, so 1986. He's like 16 years old.
Yeah, fuck.
So yeah, so she passed away super suddenly and the 3 children packed up and moved to live with their distant father. So his mother's passing devastated Oscar, who was obviously super close to her after she basically raised them on her own.
Yeah.
Then, a year later, in June 2003, when he was 17 years old, he suffered a knee injury while playing rugby. So while undergoing rehab for rugby, he was introduced to running with his coach. Oscar said that after he got introduced to running, he never looked back. That was like his passion.
Okay.
He was fitted by South African prosthetics Francis Vanderwit for running blades.
Okay. That's South African ass name, Vanderwit. It's like or like Dutch or something.
Yeah. Pistorius then started attending University of Pretoria and studying for a business management and sports science degree. And the media loved doing stories on him because he ran track in college. Fuck yeah. Especially his hometown media. They're like, look at this hero. Around this time when he was getting all this like hometown media, starting to become like a little hometown star, he said his motto was, "You're not disabled by the disabilities you have. You are able by the abilities you have."
Wow.
So people fucking ate his shit up. Like, they were loving this fool.
Yeah. Damn, all he had to do was just like,
I know,
say some fortune cookie ass shit about having a disability every once in a while. Damn, he could have ridden this wave for like the rest of his life.
Yep. So after training and falling in love with running, Oscar qualified for the Athens Summer Paralympics in 2004.
Cool.
A lot of people didn't know what to expect from him in the big running circuit because he was still a rookie. Like, he had just started running. So Oscar competed in T44 single below the knee amputee events, even though he's classified as T43 double below the knee amputee because he was basically too fast. They had to put him in the harder heat. So he came in third place for single below the knee amputee in the 100-meter race. And then he qualified for the 200-meter final and went on to win with a world record time of 21.97 seconds, beating two American runners who both only had the single leg amputations.
Wow.
So everybody was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Who this dude?
Yeah. Damn, that's wild.
Yeah, he's fucking fast.
How sick must the Olympics in Athens be, dude? Like,
right? Yeah.
Fuck.
You better walk around with a fucking
a toga.
Like, a toga. I was like, what are those parties I used to go to in college? Toga party.
I saw a thing on Real Sports one time that was like, they should make it so that the Olympics are in one place every year, you know, because they cost so much for each city, and like stadiums are just empty after that and shit. Like, it's really fucking stupid to have the Olympics like competing for the Olympics, whatever.
Let's not even get into that fucking piss competition.
Yes. Yeah. LA 2022 or whatever. What is it?
Some shit like that.
It's like, yeah. Anyway,
my dad just found tickets from when he went to the World Cup in LA in '94.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like, look at what I found.
Hell yeah.
Like, oh, that's awesome.
You should like do something with that. Like frame them or something. Yeah.
Yeah, he would love that shit.
Yeah. Well, it would be cool if they just made them in Athens every 4 years. That would be dope.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, why not? Bring some fucking economic growth to Greece.
Yeah.
Okay, so then in 2005, Oscar finished 6th in the non-disabled South African Championships for the 400-meter race.
Wow.
And he obtained another world record time of 47.34 seconds.
How shitty do you feel if you're not disabled?
Yeah.
And he beats you?
Yeah. At the Paralympic World Cup in 2005, he won gold in the 100 and 200-meter races, beating his own prior 200-meter world record.
Wow.
So he's like competing with himself.
Yeah.
Then around this time, the media began calling him Blade Runner and the fastest man on no legs. So he was like starting to get sponsorships and shit. Like he was on top of his game. The International Association of Athletics Foundation, or IAAF, then invited Oscar to take part in an international non-disabled event, the 400-meter race at the Grand Prix in Finland, but he was unable to attend because of school commitments. But that kind of opened his eyes to trying to compete more in non-disabled events because he realized like he could probably do it, and he did do it, you know? Then in 2006, he won gold in the 100, 200, and 400-meter events at the Para Athletics World Championships. In 2007, he set another world record for the 400 meters at the South African Athletics Championships. And Oscar, like I said, was super interested in the non-disabled events. When you watch, because if you watch the races, Oscar smokes everybody in his race by a good amount of distance. So he's, like I said, he's really only competing with himself. So he wanted to break out of the Paralympic world too, because he knew that he would get greater recognition and there'd be better options out there for him.
Yeah, sure.
In terms of sponsorships.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
money.
Even if you're in last place with the non-disabled competitors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're just going to get a greater audience.
Yeah.
And it's just going to fucking broaden your horizons.
Mm-hmm.
So that same year, in 2007, he participated in his first non-disabled event, the Norwich Union British Grand Prix, where he beat American Olympic champion Jeremy Werner in a field with wet conditions with a time of 47.65 seconds. This was fucking huge in the running world, because this was an American Olympic champion that he beat, and that guy had both his legs.
Yeah, but it was wet.
It was wet. Yeah, the floor was wet. It was like kind of rainy. Joel was telling me that like when this happened, like fucking everybody was talking about it. It was like all over the running world. And it was iconic because it showed that Oscar had what it took to compete against non-disabled athletes. So then he set his sights on competing at the 2008 Summer Olympics in Beijing, China. However, the South African Olympic Committee did not select him, so he was kind of bummed out about that.
It's by selection, like it's not just like whoever wins this race.
There's time like limits. Like you have to have like certain amount of time, right? Like if you're competing in whatever race, it's like your time has to be under 47 seconds or whatever the fuck. But then yeah, ultimately like the South American, like the Olympic Committee chooses which runners they want to participate for them.
Okay.
At least in terms of running.
Yeah.
After this race where it was like super hyped that he had beat this dude, people began to criticize Oscar based on claims that his artificial limbs gave him an advantage over runners with natural ankles and feet. Oscar runs
Yo,
with
fake titties give you an advantage over bitches with real ass titties.
That's extremely similar, mate. Like that's exactly how you should think of this. So Oscar runs with J-shaped carbon fiber prosthetics called the Flex Foot Cheetah.
Yeah.
On March 26th.
But those aren't like his day-to-day feet. Legs.
No, he has regular ass prosthetics that look like human feet.
Yeah.
That he uses for like regular shit. On March 26, 2007, the IAAF amended its competition rules to include a ban on use of, quote, any technical device that incorporates springs, wheels, or any other element that provides a user with an advantage over an athlete not using such a device. And everybody was like, this is obviously aimed at Oscar.
Yeah. It's like when golf courses started tiger proofing.
Yeah, exactly. So then the IAAF issued a statement saying that the amendment was not specifically aimed at Pistorius, but everybody knew what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah.
Then the IAAF monitored Oscar's track performances using high-definition cameras in July 2007 to decide whether he in fact had an unfair advantage. In November of 2007, Oscar was invited to take tests at the German Sports University under the guidance of Professor Peter Brueggemann, who was responsible for technical issues with the IAAF. After 2 days of testing, Brueggemann reported that Pistorius's limbs used 25% less energy than runners with complete natural legs who ran at the same speed. He also found that they led to less vertical motion combined with 30% less mechanical work for lifting the body.
Wow.
Brueggemann told the newspapers that Pistorius, quote, had considerable advantages over athletics without prosthetic limbs who we also tested. I did not expect the results to be so clear.
Okay. This is fascinating.
Yeah. On January 14th, 2008, the IAAF ruled that Oscar's prosthetics were ineligible for use in competitions, including the 2008 Summer Olympics.
Okay.
Oscar said this was premature and highly subjective and pledged to continue to fight for his dream. He immediately appealed based on advice from experts in the United States who reached out to him, who said that the report did not take enough variables into consideration.
Variables like what though?
Because they tested him running only in a straight line and only when he was at maximum speed.
Okay.
So he appealed to the Court of Arbitration for Sports in Switzerland and appeared for a 2-day hearing starting in May of 2008. The court upheld the appeal and the IAAF decision was revoked immediately, so they couldn't stop him from any races during the time. They determined that Brueggemann tested Pistorius' biomechanics, like I said, only at full speed while running a straight line, which is unlike any real race, and they didn't consider the disadvantages that Oscar suffers at the start and acceleration phases of a race, and that overall there was no real evidence that he had any net advantage over any non-disabled athletes. So they did tests that simulated an actual race course, like the track.
Yeah.
You know, which is where it counts.
Right. So he might have an advantage like at the end of the race, but it's offset by the disadvantage he has at the beginning of the race. Okay.
Exactly. And a lot of people said, if you look at Oscar's running style, most people, their kick in the beginning of the race is wild, right? Like they jump off those things like fast and they go full speed, and then they kind of tend to slow down at the end. And Oscar, exactly like you said, opposite thing. In the beginning, he's kind of slow, and then his kick at the end is fucking wild. In response to the decision, Pistorius issued a statement saying that, quote, "My focus has been to ensure that disabled athletes be given the same chance to compete and compete fairly with non-disabled athletes. I look forward to continuing my quest to qualify for the Olympics one day."
But also, okay, what about like, you know how they banned in swimming those wetsuits that are like shark, they simulate shark skin?
Skin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it like that is like a tool like that you're not supposed to use, you know?
I mean, I guess, but he doesn't have feet. It's not like something like a suit where you put on, there's I don't know, like there's other options. Like what else could he do? Like how much can we push him down? Because for something that he had no control over, like I don't really know, you know, like if that's fair,
right? Because the removing the suits is leveling the playing field, whereas removing his legs would be putting only him at a disadvantage.
Yeah, like that shit's not fair, you know.
Yeah.
And is that the message we want to send to people who are disabled? You know.
Yeah.
Especially in the sports world, like this is sports. This is not like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so the South African government and press at this time were in love with Oscar when this whole prosthetics thing went down and it seemed unfair to him, and his, like, just the way he conducted himself throughout the whole thing is really, really professional. Like, if you watch his interviews, like, he's just, like, stands firm, and he's like, I don't want to, like, he doesn't want an advantage against them either, you know? But he's like, but if I don't have one, I also don't want to be held back against this shit.
Yeah.
So he became this symbol of strength and of overcoming challenge, much like the country itself had tried to do since apartheid. So that was another thing. Like for South Africa, he was like totally the person that they wanted to hold to a pedestal.
Yeah, for sure. Because they only have, as far as like heroes, they got Mandela.
Nelson Mandela.
Charlize
and guess who Oscar
Theron.
met right after all of this?
Oh, no way.
Yeah, Oscar met with Nelson Mandela, and Nelson Mandela was like applauding him for his strength and everything.
Dope.
And then he started getting huge sponsorships. In May 2008, Oscar was part of Time's 100 list of the world's most influential people.
Cool.
His essay was penned by Eric Weihenmayer, who was the first blind person to climb Mount Everest.
Wow.
My dude, I don't know why the fuck you would want to do that. Isn't that crazy?
Ooh, I feel like trash now.
I know.
I really want to climb. I want to do like a snow climb of a mountain or something. That sounds fun.
Have you ever gone rock climbing?
Never.
It's fucking really hard.
Yeah.
Jesus used to do it all the time. That fool has good grip strength. So like we would go with him every once in a while. That shit is fucking hard.
Yeah,
like
I bet.
Like it's all in it's grip strength. Like it's the whole battle right there. Well, and cojones, you have to be fucking brave.
Yeah. That's why I think like snow is better, because you just like.
Yeah. The very same year after this all went down, Oscar's autobiography, Dream Runner, was published in Italian and later released in English as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Oscar got his head in the game and started training to qualify for the 400-meter race. This required a standard time of 45.55 seconds, whereas Oscar was running like a 47-second average. Each National Athletic Federation is allowed to enter 3 athletes who meet the standard and 1 athlete in a B standard, which is a little bit slower, 45.95 seconds, only if no one else in their country achieves a faster time.
Okay.
Nonetheless, Oscar was eligible for the 4x4 meter relay time without having to qualify because he had already made it.
Okay, cool.
He said he still wanted to try to be in the top 4 and bring something to the race. Like, he just didn't want to be like, like the gimmick 4x4 guy. Around this time, Oscar suffered a boating accident, which left him with fractures in his face, and he spent like a week in the ICU.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
There were questions as to whether Oscar was intoxicated at the time of the accident.
That's what I was going to ask.
He was the one driving. And in the documentary, when they show the scene, like they show the boat crashed and shit, there's like Smirnoff ice all up in it.
Hey.
He was getting ice.
Dude, people on boats love drinking Smirnoff ice.
Did that happen to you when you went on that boat?
Yes.
That's weird.
That is so fucking weird.
It's not even that good. It's like...
No, it's not. It's malt liquor.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the taste that I think of right now. Like, it's just, fuck that.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a brewski.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so after it all went down, they didn't really push investigations that hard against Oscar.
Yep.
Yeah. He recovered and then moved to Italy and went straight back into training without, like, any sort of a mark on his record.
What's he doing in Italy, though?
I think he just liked training in that little town, like for whatever reason. Because he had gone there for a race, and
isn't that where Lance Armstrong trained too?
Maybe, I don't know. Did he? I don't know.
So was he juicing? That's an unfair advantage.
That for sure. You can't be juicing and got blades. That shit's fucked up. He's just gonna fucking.
No, for
like
sure.
Marion Jones. Remember when Marion Jones, like, her races are wild when they show her finishing like crazy before everybody else.
Oh, that one made me sad.
Yeah, that shit was so that one does make me sad too. Howell says that like he used to look up to her so much because everybody was like, she's the best runner, she's fucking squashes everybody. And that when all the things came out about her juicing, he said he was really sad. He was like, man.
No, but for real, you think he might have been juicing because roid rage?
Maybe. I don't know. I never saw anything about that, and it never came up.
Okay.
And they get tested all the time. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously people find a way around that. So. The IAAF's general secretary said that they hoped the South African Olympic Committee would do the right thing and not select Oscar for its 4x4 relay team since he could cause serious damage to himself and others if he ran into the main pack. Oscar responded to this saying, "This is the IAAF's last desperate attempt for me not to make it." On July 2nd, 2008, Oscar competed in the 400-meter B qualifying time race in Milan, but was disappointed when he finished with a 47.78 second race. On July 11th, 2008, he tried again in Rome, but finished 6th with a time of 46.62 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So check this. He's running like crazy. On July 16th, so like a week later, he tried again, but failed to meet the time by 0.7 seconds.
Oh, 0.7?
0.7 of a second.
Oh, fuck.
That must be fucking devastating.
Yeah.
South Africa Athletics announced that he would not be selected for the 4x4 relay team because 4 other runners had better times than him.
Okay.
Oscar stated that he didn't want to take a wild card to take part in the Olympics. He should only be part if he qualifies. So he's instead kind of shifted his focus and said, I'm going to try to make it in London in 2012.
Okay.
But he did still take part in the 2008 Paralympics in Beijing. And in the 100-meter race, he set a Paralympic record. In the 200-meter race, he won gold. And in the 400-meter race, he won gold with a world record. So he's still fucking killing it,
right.
You know?
What's the name of the committee or whatever? The IAAF. IAAF. Okay. Do they run the Paralympics as well?
I don't know. Good question.
Because it's like they don't give a fuck like what he's doing over there. They're like, you could do
like,
whatever over there.
Yeah. International Association of Athletics Foundation. Maybe. I'm sure it sounds like they would handle that one too. Yeah, seriously. He just goes and like fucking squashes everybody. All right. So then in 2011, Pistorius competed in a bunch of non-disabled races and 3 times made it under 46 seconds for the 400 meter. But in Italy on July 19th, 2011, he had a personal best of 45.07 seconds in the 400 meters, which gained him a qualification for the Olympic team and earned him 15th fastest man in the world.
Wow.
Yeah. On August 8th, 2011, South Africa included him in their team for the 400 meter and 4x4 relay time for the World Championships. In the 4x4, he ran the first leg, which caused a bit of controversy since his first leg is usually slow when he starts from the blocks. He's better when he starts standing up.
Yeah.
They ended up pulling him from the finals since he ended up being kind of too slow, but the South African team won silver without him. So since he ran with the first heats, he also got a medal for them winning overall, and he became the first amputee to win a non-disabled world track medal.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that must feel fucking great. On July 4th, 2012, the South African team announced that Oscar would be included in their Olympic team in the 400 meter and the 4x4 meter team.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he fucking made it. Oscar was the first amputee runner to ever compete at an Olympic Games. In the 400 meter race, he made it through to the semifinals where he finished 8th place with a time of 46.54 seconds. In the 4x4, the South African relay team finished 8th in the finals out of 9 teams. However, Pistorius ran the final leg and he was chosen to carry the South African flag for the closing ceremony. Wow. The same year, 2012, he fucking murdered, no pun intended, at the Paralympics.
Okay.
This year, the London Paralympics gained considerable larger press than ever before, and many people credited this to Oscar's fame. Like, they had twice the amount of viewers, and they sold, like, way more tickets than they ever had.
Are the Paralympics... Never mind, that's a stupid question.
What?
No, I wanted to know if is it the same as the Special Olympics? Like, does it happen at the same time or anything like that?
I don't know, but, I mean, the Paralympics is in the same spot and, like, around the same time as the Schmegular Olympics, so I bet it would be, right? Like, that makes sense.
Okay.
In the 200-meter race, he got a world record. In the 4x4 relay team, he won gold and gained another world record. In the 400-meter, again, he won gold, and that was on the last full day of competition. After the Paralympics, the University of Strathclyde in Glasgow gave Oscar an honorary doctorate degree.
Dr. Pistorius.
And by now, Oscar's sponsorships alone were ranking a reported $2 million a year.
Okay.
He was a model in advertising campaigns with Nike, Oakley, Oscar, which is a brand out there. I don't know that one, etc.
It's something.
It's something. Yeah.
Did you see that Elton John commercial?
No, for the movie?
No.
Oh, what?
It's like it dropped this week, and everyone's calling it like the greatest commercial ever made.
Ooh, I fucking love good commercials.
Me too.
I'm gonna watch it.
I love those shows that are like best Super Bowl commercials ever.
Yes, man.
Well,
yes.
Well, it's really sentimental. Like I shed a little tear at the end. But
really?
Yeah, but I don't know what is a commercial for.
Oh. Okay. There's this fucking really good Nike commercial that has the Killers song. I think it's all these things that I've done. All the things I've done. The one where he goes, I got soul, but I'm not a soldier. So it's just that part, and it's a bunch of athletes competing. And at the end, it's Oscar running like fucking fast as fuck in his blades. It looks so badass.
Nike commercials are so fucking good,
Oh
dude.
my God, man. They're the best.
They're so good.
Sometimes when I'm not motivated to run, I'll watch like 4 Nike commercials. And I always watch that one. That one's really good.
You know, do you remember that movie, What Women Want?
Come on. Of course I remember that movie.
Helen Hunt.
I hate it. She's so bomb in that movie.
She's so good. She fell off. Like, I want her to... She's a good-ass actress. She needs to...
Yeah, and she's bomb as fuck.
Yeah. Well, she comes up with a good Nike commercial in that movie or something.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
For Nike women's running.
Yes. Okay, so then that town in Italy, Gemona, on August 22nd,
Jamon.
2012. Jamon. They unveiled a mural of Oscar's achievements like in the center of their town.
Wow, he's not even from there.
I know.
She doesn't even go here.
Just because he fucking trained there.
Wow.
All these people around the world, like disabled people all the time, would come out speaking like in little interviews saying they felt that Oscar gave them a new dignity.
Yeah. Come on, dude. You have a responsibility now. Like,
no. Don't you hate this?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to do the rough transition here.
Okay.
Riva Steenkamp was a South African model who began a relationship with Oscar Pistorius in November 2012. She worked in television and, like I said, modeling, but she was also a law school graduate. She advocated through several foundations for victims of rape and domestic abuse, and she was twice named one of FHM's sexiest women in the world.
Very, very beautiful.
She is fucking breathtaking. Her face, oh my God. Yeah. You could just stare at her.
Yeah.
People describe Riva as very special, very nurturing. Riva was her family's main provider and financial caretaker. She was a hard worker. In the very early morning of Valentine's Day 2013, Oscar Pistorius shot and killed 29-year-old Riva Steenkamp at his home in Pretoria. This we know is true. Oscar fired 4 shots through a locked bathroom door, hitting Riva, who was inside the restroom, 3 times. The prosecution's version of events are that Riva and Oscar were arguing throughout the night, and then she locked herself in the bathroom to get away from him. They say that Oscar put on his prosthetic legs, walked across the bedroom to the bathroom, and intentionally shot her through the door. They argued that the time required for Oscar to put on his legs, walk over there, grab a gun, and shoot her is enough to establish premeditation. Also, real quick, the main prosecutor on this case, the ultimate main prosecutor, because they had a weird change in the beginning, Jerry Nell, is a tenacious litigator who prosecuted the former president of Interpol, leading to his conviction for police corruption.
Holy shit.
This guy is fucking wild. You should watch the documentary just to see the prosecutor in the courtroom. Like, he is a natural born litigator. It's fucking astounding.
Okay.
And this guy was out for Oscar. Like, he was gonna fucking take him down for this shit. Oscar's defense team's version of events indicated that Oscar believed that Riva was sleeping in bed next to him when he woke up to get a fan from the balcony. But while he was up, he heard someone inside of the bathroom. Immediately, he believed this to be an intruder, so he walked over on his prosthetics and acknowledges that he shot through the door 4 times, which ultimately led to Riva's death, but maintains that he did not believe it was her. He thought that it was an intruder. Following the shootings, Oscar broke down the bathroom door with a cricket bat and carried Riva's body in his arms. As she was still breathing, go ahead.
That shit is not a normal thing to do, though.
What? Shoot
through a door?
But you got to see like all the footage of all the break-ins in South Africa. And the statistics are fucking wild. Like, it happens like, it's like fucking all the time. Like, this shit happens all the time. And it happened to him when he was little all the time. And even like the press, when they're doing stories on this, they're like, oh, I was broken into last week with a machete. Someone had a machete in my house. And like everybody talks like this happens all the time in South Africa.
But someone was, okay, so he's like, an intruder was in my bathroom. They were stealing my mouthwash. I'm going to shoot them dead.
What? No, I don't think, I think that he thought there's somebody in my bathroom who's armed and is going to kill me and Riva. Allegedly, like this is like, you know, all speculative. But it's not as far-fetched as you would think, like the fact that he shot at them. Because it seems to be a real common occurrence. So after he grabbed her, she was still breathing. He called his community's management company because he lived in a gated community. And he called them to get an ambulance to the house. He carried her down the stairs and laid her on the floor next to the staircase, where she was pronounced dead on the scene. When the ambulance arrived, Oscar was in the garage, bloodied and crying, repeating that he thought it was a burglar. Oscar had called his brother, who met him at the house and whom he spoke to about what had happened. Oscar's brother also says the same thing, that Oscar was like unconsolable and just saying he thought it was a burglar.
Mm-hmm.
The police arrived and the press shortly after. The police, in the first fucked up thing that happens to Oscar, which I don't think is fair, is that this one police person walks out of the house and she says, "I will confirm that there have been prior domestic violence issues at this home." And so then the media goes fucking wild with that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They're like, this is a house where Oscar had domestic violence issues. And they make it seem like it's with Riva and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not true. It later was found to stem from an event that happened in 2009 when there was a 19-year-old girl at a party at Oscar's house and she was refusing to leave. And he kept telling her to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And then he slammed the door at her. And I guess it hurt her foot or something.
Mm-hmm.
So the cops came and like they called it domestic violence and shit for
Mm-hmm.
that event.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only time that there was an event at his house. But that's not the way it played out in the media.
Okay.
But they did find, remember that weird, so he had that one boating accident that was
Mm-hmm.
sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
And he had charges for shooting a firearm through the roof of a car after like a night of drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And then little by little, these stories about Oscar began to unravel.
Yeah.
Oscar was arrested hours after the murder and he was charged the next day. The story was being broadcast internationally, obviously because of his fame, causing shock because Oscar's life up until then was a feel-good story. He was a
Mhm,
fucking
mhm.
champ against the odds.
Wait, hold up. I just realized he lives in a gated community with like.
Yeah. But he had a break-in like a month before. Like
Okay.
even in the gated communities,
Okay,
it still
okay.
happened.
Mhm.
And I think they show footage of that one. Like they show footage of the people hopping the gates and shit to.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, okay, so all of his pending races immediately were canceled, and one by one, his sponsors dropped him.
Mm-hmm.
Oscar's murder trial began on March 3rd, 2014. Midway through, he underwent psychiatric evaluation to establish whether he could be held responsible for shooting Riva
Mm-hmm.
after a doctor testified that they diagnosed him with generalized anxiety disorder.
Mm-hmm.
But later he was found, yes, like he could be held responsible. Obviously,
Mhm,
he doesn't
mhm.
have like crazy mental issues.
Mhm.
But he did from there on out need continuing psychiatric care because he became in danger of becoming suicidal.
Mm-hmm.
At his initial bail proceedings, Oscar vomited several times and cried and wept throughout most of the process. He was determined not to be a flight risk and was released out on bail. Oscar pled not guilty to all charges. One neighbor witness testified to hearing arguing that lasted almost an hour from Oscar's home the night of the shooting.
Mm-hmm.
5 witnesses testified to hearing a woman scream and gunshots on the night that Riva died. Neighbors testified that they heard a man crying loudly in a high-pitched voice, yelling for help.
Mm-hmm.
Oscar's team outlined the dramatic crime rates in South Africa, and Oscar stated that his security alarms had gone off just 1 week prior, which was verified. On the 4th day of trial, Oscar's neighbor, Johan
Mm-hmm.
Stipp testified that
Johan.
Stipp testified that he ran over to Oscar's house to help after being woken up by the sounds of gunshot and a woman screaming. He testified that upon entering the house, he found Oscar praying over Riva's body and that the first thing Oscar said was, "I shot her. I thought she was a burglar. I shot her."
Mm-hmm.
On the 5th day of trial, the court heard testimony from a former girlfriend of Oscar Pistorius who described him as a volatile boyfriend who constantly had guns on him. Lucas was scared.
Mm-hmm.
On the 6th day of trial, the state pathologist delivered graphic testimony about nature of Riva's injuries, and Oscar vomited multiple times in court, causing delays.
Mm-hmm.
On the 7th day of trial, WhatsApp messages between Oscar and Riva were read to court. Also, a fun fact, I don't know if this is fun, it was fun for me, but there are no juries in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a court with one judge.
Mm-hmm.
They're all, so the messages are all out of context, but they do show you what kind of vibe their relationship is. So
Mm-hmm.
here's a few of them. And this is just a month before the murder. That on January 19th, 2013, Riva texted Oscar, I see rabbit things in your house, and when we go to places, you take pictures of rabbits everywhere. For me, I'm thinking, who do you have that connection with? And the same things will play out on my mind. At the end of the day, this is now, not then. I wasn't a stripper or a hoe. I certainly have never been a prude, but I've had fun, but all innocent and without harmful repercussions.
Rabbit, like a
Rabbit.
Playboy bunny?
No, like a bunny. Like he has rabbit things in his house.
All
And then
right.
he takes pictures of them. So she's like, who does he have that connection with? Because that's kind of random.
Oh, like who's he sending that shit to?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
they're
okay,
like
okay.
jealous. On January 27th, 2013, Riva texts him, I'm not 100% sure why I'm sitting down to type you a message, but perhaps it says a lot about what's going on here. You've picked on me incessantly since you got back from Cape Town, and I understand that you're sick, but it's nasty. I wasn't flirting with anyone today. I feel sick that you suggested that and that you made a scene at the table and made us leave early. I'm terribly disappointed in how the day ended and how you left me. We're living in a double standard relationship. Every 5 seconds, I hear how you dated another chick. You really have dated a lot of people, yet you get upset if I mention one funny story with a long-term boyfriend. I do everything to make you happy and not to say anything to rock the boat. You do everything to throw tantrums in front of people. I'm scared of you sometimes and how you snap at me and of how you will react to me. You make me happy 90% of the time, and I think you're amazing together. I think we're amazing together, but I'm not some other bitch you may know trying to kill your vibe. I get snapped at and told my accents and voices are annoying. I touch your neck to show you I care, and you tell me to stop. Stop chewing gum. Don't do this. Don't do that. You don't want to hear stuff. Cut me off. Your endorsements, your reputation, your impression of someone. Innocent, blown out of proportion, and fucked up a special day for me. I'm sorry if you truly felt I was hitting on my friend Sam's husband, and I'm sorry that you think that little of me.
Okay, I don't like it.
Yeah, right? Like,
He's
it's not
borderline emotionally abusive.
abusive, yeah. Oscar replied to her, please let me know when I can call you. Riva, I'm here. Oscar replied to her, I want to talk to you. I want to sort this out. I don't want to have anything less than amazing for you and I. I am sorry for the things I say without thinking and for taking offense to some of your actions. The fact that I'm tired and sick isn't an excuse. I was upset that you just left me after we got food to go talk to a guy, and I was standing right behind you watching you touch his arm and ignore me. And when I spoke up, you introduced me, which you could have done. But when I left, you just kept on chatting to him when clearly I was upset. So he's
Okay.
jealous.
Yeah.
He's hella jealous and controlling.
Mm-hmm.
February 8th, 2013, so a week before her murder.
Mm-hmm.
Riva to Oscar. While you were having 1 or 2 pics taken, I was saying goodbye to the people in my industry, and Fitz wanted a photo with me. I was just being cordial by saying goodbye while you were busy. I completely understood your desperation to leave, and I thought I'd be helping you by getting to the exit before you. I didn't think you would criticize me for doing that, especially very loudly so that others could hear. I can't be attacked by outsiders for dating you and be attacked by you, the one person that I deserve protection from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't sound like a healthy relationship.
No, and also shit is starting to happen in public.
Yeah, that's scary too, that he seems to like be making scenes.
Yeah. And okay, so now I kind of have a motive for the, not that it was premeditated, but
he's jealous and
Yeah.
like he snaps.
Yeah.
And he likes guns.
right. And
On
also, like, imagine like you're getting into you're in the middle of a fight, and like maybe she says something like, I don't know, do you want people to know the real you? Like, do you want your sponsors to know the real you or something?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely unhealthy and like, yeah, I don't know. Sounds bad. On April 7th, Oscar began testifying on his own behalf, and his testimony and cross-examination lasted 5 days.
Fuck.
Oscar testified that after he fired the shots and returned to his bed is when he realized Riva wasn't in it. He then allegedly put on his prosthetics and smashed the door down with a cricket bat before finding Riva slumped over the toilet but still alive. He called his estate managers and asked for an ambulance. He stated that he carried her down the stairs and tried to render assistance to her, but that ultimately she died in his arms. Oscar walked around the courtroom without prosthetics on in an effort to probably gain sympathy and show how defenseless he is without them on. Because, his whole story was that he thought there was an intruder, and so he went over there scared and shot without thinking it through.
So his version of events is that he wasn't wearing his prosthetics when he shot.
Right. But the prosecution, I saw they had an expert show the way the guns,
the height.
Yes, it looked like Riva had been shot at from a height. It looked like he had his prosthetics on. The way that the bullets hit her. The defense forced him to look at pictures of Riva's bloodied corpse. And he wept throughout the entire thing. He weeps and throws up all the time during testimony and during everything. They showed what a bullet at close range would have done to her head by demonstrating it on a watermelon. The team, at one point, they have pictures of Riva up, and they're like, look at what you did. You need to take responsibility for what you did to her. And Oscar's crying, and he's like, I remember, I don't need to look at it. This haunts me, he's pleading with them, please don't let me look at this. And they basically force him to. The defense asked Oscar to read a Valentine's Day card that Riva gave him on the day that she was killed, in which she wrote, I think today is a good day to tell you that I love you. And then he just fucking loses it on the stand. On May 5th, Johann Stander, the manager of the state where Pistorius lived, testified that Pistorius called at 3:18 a.m. saying, please come to my house. I shot Riva. I thought she was an intruder. Please come quick. He went with his daughter. He ran over there, like I said, and he found Pistorius coming down the stairs, praying. He testified, he was broken. He was screaming. He was crying. He was praying. On the last days of trial, several experts commented on Oscar's disability and post-traumatic stress from the loss of his limbs. They also spoke about his years of depression and all of the mourning of Riva during trial. That was you could see him mourning Riva, and that was all playing out during the testimony because everything happened really fast. And one of the psychologists said something that I thought was great. He was like, there's a weird paradox here in Oscar because you have an individual who is supremely able, but at the same time, you have an individual who is significantly disabled. Several experts who met with Oscar were asked if he ever seemed apologetic of killing Riva, which they could not answer.
Interesting. He's not apologetic about her death? Or it's inconclusive?
The experts that interviewed him and evaluated him said they hadn't really thought about whether or not he seemed apologetic. But during trial, he's going through something. He's not okay.
Yeah.
And he's depressed. But that's not necessarily
remorse.
Right. That. I mean, that could just be dealing with the fact that you killed somebody. There's this really interesting Japanese murder that I don't remember if they did it on My Favorite Murder or something, but there's this guy and he's super famous. Oh, I know. I read about him on Viceland. There's this creepy guy that's Japanese who killed a woman and ate her. He's a cannibal.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He's written books and stuff.
Yeah,
you know that
I read that book.
Okay, well, this fool talks about he had dreamed his whole life about killing someone and eating their flesh. And even when he finally did it that time, when he did it, he blacked out and threw up and stuff because it's still fucking wild, you know, even if it's something that you had wanted to do.
Right.
The defense closed its case on July 8th, 2014, and closing arguments were held on August 7th through 8th, 2014. The prosecutor stated that Oscar concocted a snowball of lies and he must face the consequences for his actions. The defense stated that Oscar's reactions to danger were that of an abused woman and he should only face culpable homicide charges, not murder. On September 12th, 2014.
Hold up. They were trying to say that, no.
Yep. That he was an abused woman.
Yeah, no.
That's what they were trying to compare his situation to.
Right. But he would have, for that to have been true, he himself would have had to have been
abused by Riva.
Yeah.
Or something. They were trying to say that that's how you should think of him because of his prosthetics. He's vulnerable. He's whatever. It's bullshit.
When it's convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
On September 12th, 2014, the judges found Oscar guilty of culpable homicide and reckless endangerment. He was found not guilty of illegal possession of illegal ammunition and some other firearm charge. On October 21st, 2014, he was sentenced to the maximum 5 years for culpable homicide with a concurrent 3-year sentence for the reckless endangerment.
Okay.
In June 2015, Oscar was recommended for early release. So we're 1 year later.
Yeah.
It was then announced that he would begin house arrest on August 21st, 2015, based on good behavior and that he was not considered a danger to the community.
Okay.
Regardless of the release from prison. But maybe he's still a danger to the women he dates.
Yeah, true.
Regardless of the release from prison, he had lost all of his sponsorships. He could not return to official athletic competition until the entire length of his sentence was complete. And even then, it was highly unlikely that anybody would be willing to put him back on a team.
Yeah.
On what is he going to carry the fucking South African flag again?
Wait. Question.
Okay.
How long was his sentence?
5 years.
That's not enough.
No. Well, wait, though.
Yeah.
Wait for it. On August 19th, his release was unexpectedly blocked by South Africa's justice minister, who said the decision for early release was premature.
Is this like a black woman?
Yep.
Yeah, she's tight.
Yeah. He was then officially released to house arrest on October 19th, 2015, after having served 10 months. Riva's father pleaded for the murder pictures from the scene of the crime to be released to the public.
Really?
To show everybody what he believed Oscar did intentionally to his daughter.
Wow.
Like, he wanted to drag Oscar. He was like, this motherfucker, I don't care if, like, he's out of prison. Like, I don't want him to go back to, like, the glory that he had.
Yeah, like nothing fucking happened. 10 months later? Wow.
Yeah. He said, I want the world to know and see my daughter's pain. Like, he didn't want her to be forgotten. The pictures showed the bloodied head and face of Riva with a black eye after she had been pronounced dead at the house.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. On November 4th, 2014, the month after he was released on house arrest, prosecutors appealed the culpable homicide verdict, stating that the 5-year sentence was shockingly light, inappropriate, and shouldn't have been imposed by any reasonable court. The case was set before a 5-person panel at the Supreme Court of Appeal in November 2015. The prosecutors indicated that the judge made an error in concluding Pistorius had not foreseen that by firing 4 shots through the closed door that he would injure or kill whoever was behind the door.
That's what I think.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Of course he was trying to kill someone.
Right.
He was killing somebody.
Yeah.
By unanimous decision, the Supreme Court of Appeal overturned Pistorius' culpable homicide conviction and found him guilty of murder in the death of Reva
Whoa.
They indicated that Oscar, a rational person, must have known someone would die if he fired through the closed door 4 times into a small toilet cubicle.
That's what I think. That's not a normal thing to do. You don't do that.
Of
Even,
course not.
okay, you feel like you might have an intruder, you say, get the fuck out. Like, you know?
Or something.
Yeah.
Therefore, the culpable homicide verdict was replaced with a full-blown murder conviction. Oscar's team immediately tried to appeal to the Constitutional Court, who later denied his right to be heard.
Okay.
The prosecution also tried to appeal his sentence again, citing that even this was shockingly lenient.
Wow.
On July 6, 2016, Oscar was sentenced to 6 years imprisonment for the murder rather than the original 5-year sentence.
Wow.
He was sent back to jail, where it was believed he would be eligible for parole after at least serving 3 years. So that would be 2019. On August 7th, 2016, Oscar slipped in his cell, sustaining injuries to his wrists, which led the media to speculate as to whether this was intentional. On September 19th, 2017, the prosecuting authority heard the state's arguments regarding Oscar's prison sentence being too lenient. On November 24th, 2017, a South African court increased Oscar's jail sentence to 13 years and 5 months.
That's more like
Better.
it, but yeah.
Oscar's family announced that the prosecution had a personal vendetta against Pistorius.
Okay.
But they were out of appeals. On December 19th, 2017, he tried to appeal the increase, but it was dismissed. So that's it. He's got a 13-year sentence.
Yeah.
Most recently, on December 6, 2017, Oscar was bruised after a prison fight with another inmate over the use of a public phone.
Fuck.
Oscar is in a special care unit due to his physical disability and special requirements, but he's expected to serve the entire 13-year sentence.
What kind of prosthetics does he have in there?
I don't know. Probably shitty ones now. Wood-ass ones.
The ones, those things you put in your shoes to stretch them out.
So that's the story of Oscar Pistorius and the murder of Reba Steenkamp.
Wow, good job, Steph.
What a fall from grace, right?
Fuck. So when is he gonna get out?
2028 maybe.
Wow. Yeah.
Fucking crazy, right?
You know what's wild though? If let's say that would have happened in the US and he would have had a jury, I could see him getting off because there might be some reasonable doubt. Like if you just need one or two people, right?
Just have reasonable doubt. I would have reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
Like if to put someone away for that long, like that would like weigh on my conscience.
Yeah.
Enough to be like, I don't know if I could do this.
But yeah, I think when there's a pattern there that was forming.
Yeah,
you
definitely. Know? Yeah, it could either way. I wouldn't hold it against anybody for finding him guilty, as well as like thinking like there's some doubt here.
Yeah,
it's a really tough one. What an idiot.
Yeah. All
he had to do was hold it together.
Yeah.
He was on top of the world. He was only gonna be like, I mean, he was gonna continue the thing is he was good. Like he was gonna keep winning and setting world records. Then what? Retire and become a fucking coach and a motivational speaker. Like,
yeah, for sure.
He had his life laid out for him.
Right. He would have been like at a like at the ESPYs with like bad bitches on his arm and like fucking yeah. Goddamn.
And he was good looking. He had it all.
Yeah. All right.
Well, R.I.P. Reba Steenkamp.
Yes. Okay, well, that was this week's Drama Club.
Thanks for listening. Hit us up on Insta and Twitter at Drama Club Pod, on our website, www.dramaclubpod.com.
On the hotline, 505-539-0556.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it. We will talk to you again next week with our Afternoon Delight episode.
Bye.
Bye.
However, whatever with your however.